Hello and welcome back everyone! Today I'm continuing yet again with the Conquering Tide character alignment sheet. As you can probably see, Gaia seems to be one of the most requested characters so far, and I'm not surprised. So I'm going to tackle her next, since she plays pretty much the major role in the comic. I'd say she's pretty much the main character. If I had to boil it down to one alone, I think it would be her. That's not to say that the comics are purely about Gaia or her life or her perspective. It switches characters and perspectives to tell stories relevant to them. And of course there are characters in different locations. They'll be switching a lot between the herds and different scenes. All the characters are important, but Gaia is certainly a prominent role to progress the story. But wait, before we get into Gaia and stuff, let's slow down. I want to address a few questions and concerns that have cropped up so far. I don't always have the time to reply to your comments, especially when the same questions pop up again and again. So here we go. Many of you have been asking, where can I find or buy the comic? Alright, so it is a webcomic. It is going to be posted on the web for free. Yes, for free. I bought the domain name conqueringtide.com, and whilst it's not been published to the web yet, it is owned by me, and I will be building the site soon, but I haven't actually done it yet because I've got nothing to post on it as of yet. And don't worry, it will be plastered everywhere in bright neon lights. You will be told when this is coming out. You will know exactly when the site is going to be published. You will know when each comic page is going to be up. I wouldn't just let that slip by. But no, there isn't anything up at the moment because I'm still tackling things over here. And I wanted to make sure I'm getting regular content out there, so I'm planning to release a page or two of the comic per week, initially. And I say initially because making comics is not a full-time job for me. I'm an animator, and I do need to get paid to live, to pay rent, to feed myself. Yeah, growing up and responsibilities suck, even with a cool job. So I do work 5 days a week, and it's not even just normal like 9 to 5, it's more like 7 until 8. As in 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. So I don't always have much time to dedicate to the comics at the moment. You know, even the videos I'm making at the moment take up most of my time, and I'm doing my best, honestly I am. Anyway, I can't afford to take the plunge and create comics for a whole year unpaid and then release it like a normal sort of graphic novel, like say Watchmen or 300, you know, something that's pretty substantial. As well as the fact that you've been waiting long enough for this dang story. But I will say that I will have some merchandise available on the site some way down the line, and if the comics really start blossoming with popularity and I'm getting a little bit more income, I might look into doing something like a Kickstarter to help fund working on the comic full time, and that would lead to producing the full comic in something like a really nice hardback with a glittery cover and maybe not glitter, let's not go tacky, but you know what I mean, something that looks really good. So you can actually then own or buy a physical copy of the graphic novel. I don't know, maybe I could have a stall at Briarfest one day even, and I'll be handing out books and you'll be coming up and saying hi, and I'll be like, oh, look at this cool model of Gaia, isn't she cute? I don't know. But bottom line, you will be notified when the site is ready. I wouldn't just not tell you. Also, another quick question I had was, what software or app are you using? I don't use an app. God, you peasants. I'm kidding. I'm drawing in Adobe Photoshop CC, and I've only recently upgraded to CC. I previously had CS6. And no, it's not free. It costs me £45 a month. That roughly translates at the current dollar rate to, I don't know, like $65-ish a month. I mean, Google Adobe Photoshop if you're that interested. Just, I don't know, don't ask me. And I draw with a Cintiq tablet. And no, drawing on the computer doesn't automatically make your work look amazing. You need to master drawing traditionally and on paper first. Like, this is such a common misconception, it's really annoying. Digital drawing literally just speeds up some aspects of drawing traditionally, but you need to actually know what you're doing first. So, just wanted to address that. And somebody else asked what brushes I was using, because they don't look like standard Photoshop brushes. That's because they're not standard Photoshop brushes. I actually bought them from, there's Frenden brushes and Kyle's brush packs. And I'll leave a link to these in the description because you can just check those out in your own time if you want to invest in some nice brushes. I don't know. Okay, enough chit-chat of irrelevant stuff. Let's get back to Gaia. Okay, so Gaia is 13 years old when we meet her. This is going to be her first herd outing to meet the new herds. Cool, right? Yeah. So I'm drawing her as a youngster and an adolescent because there's two parts of the story where she's young and then she's older, and yeah. Physically, she's got an elegant but strong form. Like many of the horses in the Quintessence herd, you'll notice that some of the herds have more significant traits than others do, but there's still a bit of a mixed match of different horses, but you'll see some of the same types cropping up. But you know, she isn't by any means dainty. She does have a certain amount of grace and wisdom about her, but she's still, you know, pretty strong. And when I was designing her, I like to incorporate a lot of curves and contrast them with straights so that she seems like she could be quite soft and approachable, but she can also have this serious side too, and you know, she means business if she needs to put her hoof down. She's a medium chestnut and develops some dapples when she grows older. She also has a darker red mane, but has some highlights towards the tip so you can just differentiate it from her coat. Her eyes are large and oval shaped, giving her an inquisitive look. Her right eye is a medium brown and her left eye is a mossy green. She was born with it, but you know, this may be relevant later on in the story as to why she does have different eyes. Who knows? Guess you have to read the comics. Gaia was designed obviously to have different coloured eyes, but with regard to the stone models, if you have one, I think she was produced with two hazily green eyes. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you have a standard, a factory produced Gaia, let me know. But my model I think was a test run, and she has one brown eye and one green eye. I think back in 2012 we decided it'd be best if she had two of the same coloured eyes, like realistic coloured eyes, in case anybody wanted to show her, because some judges could have been like, oh, that's weird, she's got one brilliant like green eye and then the other's brown. That doesn't happen in real horses. With regard to her white markings, she has, I don't want to say a broken stripe, it's more like an elongated star accompanied by a little snip on her nose. How cute. She also has one white sock on her hind left leg. As an adolescent, she has sort of a medium length mane and tail. It's very slightly wavy. She has this little flick in her forelock, like a little cow's lick. Build or conformation wise, she was meant to originally look like a kind of standard bred, but I mean, she looks like she's got a little bit of stock in her, like a little bit of quarter horse for that power and strength. She also has like something light in her, something sporty like a thoroughbred. I mean, obviously in this world there aren't real breeds. I'm just describing to you how she would look if she was a horse in the real world. So I'd say she was like half thoroughbred and half quarter horse, something like that. And that, you know, something light is in there just to give her a little bit more leg and elegance, because she has the slightly Roman nose. Compared to some of the other characters, she may look a little bit plain and unassuming, but I kind of wanted her to look a little bit more bold and solid. Don't call her boring, she's not boring. It goes to show that, you know, even the most normal and unassuming looking horse can be a hero. Personality-wise, Gaia is a natural leader. She's mentally sharp, brave, and isn't afraid of confrontation, and has a strong sense of justice. She is mature for her age, and this is mainly due to her growing up amongst older horses. There were no other horses her age when she was young. You know, Romulus was the closest and he's 4 years older than her. But that doesn't mean she missed out on any mischief and fun. Oh no. Gaia can be quite the daredevil, seeking out unexplored areas, sneaking off when she should be studying. She's definitely not afraid to bend the rules. And if she does get into trouble, she's clever enough to point out the loopholes and help her weasel her way out of any punishment. Most of the time, anyway. So Gaia's father is Crotos or Crota. I still haven't decided on a name yet. We'll get to that when we feature Kronos. But you knew him as Kronos from the original Model Horse series, Conquering Tide. Gaia and Kronos' names come from the Greek mythological titans. So whilst these names are related in mythology, and you can see a kind of pattern here, like, you know, Kronos is a titan, Gaia is a titan, oh, they're related, oh yeah they are, okay, cool. You can see why some people became confused when there were some names following a pattern and other ones that just randomly sort of slotted together, like the whole Norse and Roman god matching thing. It just didn't work. Also, it's cooler to have unique names. But you'll be glad to know that Gaia is staying the same, because I found out that most people spell Gaia completely differently. Some people spell it, I've seen it spelled so many ways, but the least way I've seen it spelled is G-A-I-A. So that makes me think, oh, it's still a little bit more unusual, so it's fine to keep it. I've seen a lot of people spell Gaia G-A-E-A, so Gaia, and G-A-Y-A, and all sorts of other ways. So, you know, it isn't a common name in pop culture. I think Gaia deserves to stay as Gaia. Anyway, Gaia is an only filly, and her father raises her alone, or attempts to. He is, of course, the leader of the Quintessence herd, and often travels away from the main herd. He isn't there for her all that often, so she's usually left to be raised by her teachers, and Romulus, who is obviously like a big brother to her, really. Gaia's mother died a year after she was born under some mysterious circumstances that her father refuses to disclose. Gaia is determined to discover the truth. Gaia also has a few weird things happening to her that she doesn't feel comfortable discussing with anyone other than Romulus. Is she going crazy? Is it all in her head? Her world is about to turn upside down when she meets the other herds. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, I'm deliberately being vague on some things because, you know, you read the comics to find out. You're going to read who these characters are, and you're going to read who they become, because of course they start out like this. That doesn't mean to say that these characters can't change. So yeah, I am going to hold back on some information, and you're going to love it, because when you read it, you're going to love it so much, and you're going to be like, I can't wait for the next episode of the next page of Conquering Tide. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just going to draw it up this week, and you're going to have to wait for it next week. Unless I can do it full time, in which case you could have like a panel every day and everybody would go crazy and it'd be so cool. Okay, I'm getting too excited. Again, I'll leave some links in the description for those things I talked about earlier. And thanks very much. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you soon.